I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Guys, welcome back. We are here, episode 3. We're calling this trophies. As we go on, you will see why. We are back again. If you haven't seen our first episode, please give that a look. It's on our page. Just scroll on down a little bit. You'll see it. I am Darren. That is Darren as well over here. That is Brandon right here. If you haven't followed us on Twitter or Facebook or any of that, we are on Twitter as always at Comin in Hot Mem, capital MEM, no G on the Comin. It's just Comin in Hot Mem at Comin in Hot Mem, and on Facebook Comin in Hot as well. Guys, we are back. We are here. We got our topics ready. Let's dive right into it. So the greatest show of all time ended Sunday. Do we disagree? It's the greatest show of all time?
Easily. One of the greatest shows.
One of. Is it the greatest or is it one of?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we agree it's the greatest show of all time. Ended on Sunday. And fan reaction is not too kind to not only that episode, but the entire season 8. I'll start with you. You know, did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? The last season. How'd you feel?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I definitely did. I think it was worth the watch. I think when you invest that much time, it was 11 years, I think, 11-year show. You invest that much time in a show, you're gonna watch it last season.
8 years.
Good, bad, or ugly. I
Yeah.
think it was somewhere good at the time. But good, bad, or ugly, you're gonna watch the last season, and I think that I come away from it feeling like it was a bit rushed, and I get it because of the demand. Like fans were literally barking, screaming. You know, we waited 2 years for that season, basically. So I liked it. Just think it was a little bit rushed. That's all.
To kind of speak on that, I'm also a fan of The Walking Dead. So
I'm so sorry. Like I'm out on that show. I've been out
I've never
since
seen one episode.
I've been out since they killed Rick.
okay. Well,
I'm sorry if you didn't know Rick. Like Rick is dead. He's not dead, but he's gone. Like go ahead. I'm so.
One thing TWD does well is give us amazing content year after year. We waited, like he said, almost 2 years, and we got 6 episodes that definitely felt rushed.
Okay.
Especially the series finale. I was highly disappointed. It's so many loose ends.
Yeah, that's the main
It's just
thing.
that we're not tied. It's just very open ended. We don't know where John is going. We don't know where Drogon is going with Mom. We don't know why Bran decided he came back to be king. That's what I'm here for. Or whatever he said. No, that's not what you came back for. You're the 3-Eyed Raven.
Right.
And your destiny had something to do with the Night King.
It confused me because earlier, I think a couple episodes ago, sorry to cut you off, yeah, I just want to get this out.
Yeah, I'll be sorry.
Soon.
Earlier, didn't he say, I think 2 episodes before that he couldn't be king, or couldn't rule because he was a 3-Eyed Raven?
Well, he said.
Yeah.
He literally said that like out of his mouth, right?
Essentially, he said he didn't want to rule the North.
Because he was a 3-Eyed Raven.
Exactly.
So,
To this day,
maybe
we
it's
still
because-
don't know where
to
he
this
warped
day.
off.
Is it because
in
it was
the Battle of
evil?
To this
Winterfell.
day.
Like, I don't know where he went.
Is it because he's that close to the wall and it has something to do with the Night King? I don't know. I just like you said, a lot of open ended.
Just don't even mention the Night King. He was incredibly overhyped. As many people know, White Walkers, the Whites, they can be killed with fire. This man just chuckled at fire. He caught Arya with one hand out of midair. In case you guys didn't realize, that's not the easiest thing to do, just to catch a human being with one hand. It obviously means he has some type of unnatural strength.
He's the Night King.
And then boom, drain glass to the stomach. Dead.
I mean, dragon classes are weakness. We
So was
do
fire,
this.
apparently.
Not for him.
Well,
This is what I'm saying. Look, I understand. People said this felt rushed. People said the season felt rushed. There's a petition like to get season 8 remade, basically. Like it's over 1 million signatures. This is how I feel about it. I will say it felt a little bit rushed, but they depended heavily on you really paying attention to the previous seasons.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, you know, you mentioned John. Like, where's John?
Right.
John is if you go back previous seasons, it was always hinted that you are the king beyond the wall. That's why I can't remember his name, but like the guy who's basically in charge of the Wild Wings now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he always said you would make a great king beyond the wall. That was them telling us that he's going to be the king beyond the wall. But you know, that's why I feel like people didn't really like it, because you really had to remember a lot of stuff from the past seasons. Just like with Arya, you know, where is she going? Well, she always said she was never gonna like stay in one spot. She always said she was never gonna stay in Winterfell. So it's just things like that where you have to remember and put it together. Oh, that's what that means. But at the same time, I can see why people would say that's bad writing, because I shouldn't have to go back to season 2 to justify this. You know? So I understand that, but I enjoyed it. I think, you know, last season wasn't as good as all the other seasons, obviously, but it was a fantastic show, and I hate that it's over. Now I don't even have a show anymore. I don't even have a show. So I don't know what
I'm sure the fans, the page can give us some shows in the.
Give me some shows.
Give
me some shows to watch.
Give us some feedback. Give us some shows to watch. I know a lot of people got Netflix out there. Let us know.
I'm just ready to move.
I just
stuck over here.
Like, I just sit there and look at the TV. Like, I don't know what to do anymore. It's gone. Let's move on. So the second thing we want to talk about, and this is the big one, is the report came out. Bleacher Report came out with a report saying that the Bulls are intrigued with Lonzo Ball. And essentially, I'll start with you this time. Essentially, what they're saying is the trade would help facilitate a 3-team trade for the Lakers to basically land Anthony Davis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start with you. If you're the Lakers, if you're Rob Pelinka, if you're the Black Rob Pelinka, you're a backstabber, by the way. Just want you to throw it out there.
There we go.
Do you trade, or are you listening to a package that includes Lonzo Ball to Chicago?
So here's the thing. You asked me if I'm Rob Pelinka.
Okay.
If I'm Rob Pelinka, I'm the same man that tried to send the entire organization.
He sent the entire city
So
to New Orleans.
If you're asking me to just send Lonzo and maybe obviously a pick and some cash or something, Lonzo's gone.
He's gone. All right.
He's gone.
Easy decision for you.
Easy decision. It's not even close. And I do it honestly out of love for Lonzo. He would be outstanding in Chicago.
I think he would.
I don't think we'd just be shipping him off into no man's land like New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that Zion has to go there. I know he's sorry that he has to go there. His career's over. Ask AD. I mean, granted, they have David Griffin now.
His career's already over.
You kind of have to respect David Griffin at what he does. He's
That's awful.
amazing. And I was a
They
little nervous about that.
they don't deserve a team. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, you're right. But
they don't deserve a team.
they don't.
They don't.
AD is gone. He doesn't need to give David Griffin a year because all these reports of him being optimistic about, or David Griffin being optimistic about him keeping AD, it's over. You came too late, man. But Lonzo, he's a defensive point guard. He's a facilitator. He's not this offensive scorer, and that's great because they have Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
They can play off of each other.
Yeah.
I think he fits in Chicago's system. I think Chicago is a big enough market for him and his dad. Granted, you know, him and the
He wants
BBB.
a big market?
Yeah. But him and the BBB don't have, you know, after that fallout, it doesn't really matter about him and his dad and what he wants.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I think if it's going to be a 3-team deal, I am a little curious as to what Chicago will be fueling in this deal. What will Chicago be sending?
They got some number 7 pick. So
They have to send a pick, but
send that to the most
you got
likely.
to send a player too, I would think.
Well, I mean, New Orleans would essentially have the first, 4th, and 7th pick.
Which is nice, but I think a player still has to be traded.
And well, I mean, yeah, you probably give them a player or two.
Yeah.
I'm not giving them. You know, you got 3 picks in the top 10. That's 30% of the. Yeah, that's a good. I don't know. Whatever. Go ahead.
As far as Lonzo, I think I'm
Sorry.
No. Seriously, in all seriousness, as far as Lonzo, he is y'all's best defensive wing player.
Okay.
Would y'all agree? As Lakers fans. Yes.
I would agree.
Yeah, you would agree, right?
I would agree.
So
A close second is Josh Hart.
yeah, I'll give you that. But we would give Lonzo. We would give Lonzo number one.
You be
right?
respectful, Josh.
I respect Josh.
All right, go ahead.
But we would give Lonzo number one, correct? Answering the same question you asked him, if I was Rob Pelinka, the only way I would even entertain a Lonzo trade is if I knew I was getting Kemba Walker, Kyrie Irving, a point guard out of free agency, period. That's the only way I would entertain it, because the one thing that I don't think Lakers fans are automatically thinking about is, I know y'all want the splash, y'all want the big, AD or the big free agent, Kevin Durant, whoever, Kawhi, whoever. Y'all want the big splash, but you got to think about it. You got to shore up your role players. And I feel like out of everybody that y'all have, again, I say outside of Kuzma, Lonzo's probably the best asset.
Over Brandon Ingram.
Over Brandon Ingram, because he can guard his position. I've seen Brandon Ingram get pushed around. I've seen Brandon Ingram get treated like a skinny, tall dude. I mean, seriously, and that's just what he is in his position. Yeah, Lonzo can, at 6'6", with long arms and legs, he can guard most point guards.
That's
So I
kind
just
of
like
where the
something to
league
think
is
about.
going too.
I just
Point guards
something
are
to think about. That's
mismatched.
not me hating. That's me being absolutely serious. Like,
Yeah.
that's something to think about. So, don't be so quick to just get rid of him. I always say, I know you want to build your team. I know you want AD, but if y'all team gets gutted for AD, just to end up in the Western Conference Finals, the Western Conference Semifinals. I mean, I know it's a step ahead when you didn't even make the playoffs the first year. So you can
I
look
just
at
want
the
to be clear.
progress.
If we have AD and LeBron James, we're in the finals. We're in the finals.
He's saying he's saying finals guaranteed.
So if Kevin Durant stays, y'all are still in the
We're
finals?
in the finals. We have Anthony Davis
So
and
disrespectful.
LeBron James. We're in the finals.
Okay.
Like, there's no question.
Okay. We'll save that for another day.
Are we? I mean, we're all in. I agree. I mean, if we, if he's wrong, he's wrong. I'm going down with him. Look, this isn't really a debate. If this trade is up for debate, you do it. But Lonzo, look right now. I would call Lonzo right now and call him an Uber to the airport to get him out of LA.
Okay.
If Chicago called me today and said, "Look, I want to trade you for Lonzo," let's get on the phone. Let's call New Orleans. Let's figure this thing out. If New Orleans receives 3 picks in the top 10, okay, plus and Chicago, and there's some, like you said, there's some things to work out financially, things like that, blah blah blah. But Lonzo would end up in Chicago. New Orleans would essentially have 3 picks and probably a young player. If they want another young player, I would gladly offer them Brandon Ingram.
I would get like Denzel Valentine.
Right, we'll get something back as well,
Something
like a Denzel Valentine.
Yeah.
But so we'll have a Denzel Valentine or something like that to pair with Anthony Davis. And like you said, if you have Anthony Davis and LeBron James, that makes your team more appealing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why I'm not worried about calling Kyrie and saying, "Hey, can I get a commitment before I make this trade?" No. I'm making this trade, and then I'm calling Kyrie and saying, "Look what we got. Opt out and come on over." I mean,
Because at
it's
the end of
that
the
easy.
day, if we don't get Kyrie, it doesn't matter. LeBron goes back to his roots. He's bringing that ball up the court.
But I think
He's
you get
facilitating that offense.
But the reason I say I wouldn't just pull the trigger on the trade looking at defense is because I think you're getting Anthony Davis regardless. I don't think you need I think if the Bulls don't call and say we want Lonzo, let's work out a three-team trade, I still think y'all end up with Anthony Davis.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Later.
I mean, you're gonna get him inevitably anyway. So why rush it? Why hold on to all your money
I'll tell you why you rush
and
it.
get them for free?
I'll tell you why
as
you rush
opposed
it.
to. But I'm saying, it's like, even if y'all get them, it's no for real. Like, even if y'all get them, seriously, I don't think y'all will win the ring. You can say y'all in the finals, y'all probably lose to Milwaukee then. But if y'all get him this offseason,
If we beat the Warriors in the playoffs,
y'all are not.
we're not listening to
I'm
Milwaukee.
telling you, it is going to take more than just LeBron and Anthony Davis to come out the West.
And
It
Kyrie.
is. It is. Oh, now we're saying a different ballgame.
That's how I'm judging it.
I'm assuming that you're getting Anthony Davis and we don't know anything else past that.
All right, well, I'm assuming we get Kyrie.
I'm assuming LeBron and Anthony Davis.
LeBron and Anthony
beat
Davis is not enough to come out of the West.
They beat whoever.
It's not. It's not enough to come out of the West.
I think it is. I don't think Durant's going back.
Even if he doesn't go back, I don't think it's enough to.
Let me say this.
I don't
As much as
think it's about to come
I
out of this.
respect Golden State, I think Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. I think Steph Curry changed the game. But if we have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, like y'all say, and then if you add Kyrie Irving, like I'm saying,
If you had Kyrie Irving, it's over. with. Absolutely. I'm just saying, just the
even
two.
without Kyrie.
Just the two.
Even without
Nah,
Kyrie,
I
even
get
without
that.
Kyrie, if we get LeBron, AD, and we keep majority of our young core, if we keep like a Kuzma, we're beating them. LA
Not
in
if you
6.
get rid of Lonzo. Not if you don't replace that defense on the wing.
LA in 6.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, LeBron James averaged a triple double against Golden State in the playoffs, probably the last 2 years he played.
You
Anthony
add
Davis is out
Davis?
here dropping 35 and 20 on this same Golden State team.
I understand that.
Both of these are players Golden State wants
Who's
no
coaching them?
smoke with.
Who, LA? Frank Vogel.
Bro, I can coach LA with
No,
those
you
two.
can't.
I
Not
like
against
Frank
Steve
Vogel.
Kerr. No, you can't.
I like Frank Vogel.
He will coach circles around you.
I can coach
Okay.
those two.
All right. I hope you get Anthony Davis.
I like that.
I hope we get to a point. I hope we get to a point.
I'm not gonna go that far.
where we can look back on it and we can say, all right, now we're about to see who's right. I really do. But I just feel like you need more than just Anthony Davis to come out the West.
We'll see.
You're right.
Not much more. I'm not
LeBron
saying you need.
James.
I'm not saying you need like Anthony Davis and Kawhi to come.
Right,
But
'cause
I think you
have
need.
Anthony Davis and LeBron.
But I think you need to keep that defense.
He's devaluing.
He's devaluing somebody. I don't
I'm
know
not
which
devaluing-
one.
It's LeBron.
I'm putting you in the Western Conference Finals with them. I'm not saying that y'all. I just don't think y'all are beating.
Yeah, but you.
Golden
I see value
State
in it.
just swept Portland and just ran their way through the playoffs.
That's you
With,
proved my point.
let's just stick with Portland. They just swept Portland with Steph, Clay, and Draymond Green. And then a bunch of players out there that if Steph and Clay weren't on their
Jeff
team,
McKinney.
you just be like, what's going on? Like Jerebko, McKinney,
Okay.
Jordan Bell,
I like the kid.
Sean Livingston, just this random bunch of guys coming off the bench. That team is built around a Steph, Clay, and Draymond. I'm talking about a LeBron James and Anthony Davis, not a Steph and Clay,
I
not a
understand.
Steph, Clay, and Draymond. LeBron James
I understand.
and Anthony Davis, two very unstoppable players. I'm sorry, Steph and Clay are stoppable. You just gotta wait till they off.
Yeah.
You just gotta wait till they off.
Okay.
You live
I
by the
hear you.
shot. You live by the three you die.
I do hear you.
I
Like I said, I think it's a foregone conclusion. Y'all get him anyway.
Mhm.
Me.
It
I was
depends on
probably-
the
By all means,
It's
if you
just
want to
me.
pull the percentages of games that Steph and or Clay go 30% from three or less, their winning percentage, by all means, be my guess.
I mean,
All I'm saying is,
I hear your point.
LeBron and AD ain't winning games off 3-point shots.
I hear your point. They're very good at those 3-point shots. This ain't like no. It's not like a.
But the games they lose, look at that 3-point
I
percentage.
hear you.
like 35.
I hear you.
Currently, right now. This series he went on.
Yeah.
Before this series,
Yeah,
he
Kevin
was
Durant.
hiding behind Kevin
He
Durant.
wasn't really hiding. He was kind of letting the 6'11" guy do it. I mean,
Like 7 people.
I mean, you run the court.
Just let him eat.
Like you'd be like.
I'm saying it now. Don't say we won't let smoke with LeBron and AD.
Okay. Okay. They would be the 3-time champions. We're talking about. They don't want smoke, but okay.
Back.
If you say they don't want smoke with me, I'm
So you're saying go take
It's back-to-back shit.
I do believe so. Yeah.
Milwaukee in
I do
6.
believe so.
But
Is this without Durant or with Durant?
I think they beat them either way.
I agree.
With Durant, I'll give Golden State a chance to go for 7.
I think. Can I tell you who I think people are underrating the most out of anybody on Golden State? Truly, especially right now.
Draymond Green.
Nope.
Oh.
Steve Kerr.
Oh yeah.
I feel like people are not thinking about how good of a coach he is.
Not
Did you
even,
say with
he's
Golden-
not even nominated.
Did
He's
you
supposed to
say
be
with
here.
Kevin
I mean,
Durant?
obviously, look at the
Milwaukee?
firepower.
Hang on a second. Say with Kevin Durant, Milwaukee in 7.
Milwaukee is 7. I give them a shot.
We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to that. Don't worry, we're gonna come back to that.
At least I gave him a 7-game series.
Exactly what
Because-
7.
He'll be sending an apology in 2 more.
Again.
2 more
I would
videos.
not. I would not.
Okay.
All right, so the NBA awards came out as well. Well, the nominations for all the awards. Let's go through them real quick and give me your winner and why. I'll start with you. The first one we'll start with is most improved player. Okay, so we have D'Angelo Russell, you got Siakam, and you got De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is Lonzo's rival. De'Aaron Fox hates the fact that Lonzo got drafted before, in case you know that. So he was-
I'm going D'Angelo Russell.
okay.
Why? I think it's obvious. I think out of the 3 players, he's the best currently.
Yeah.
Start there. I feel like I know he's not the youngest. Fox is, right? Siakam
Fox
is
should be the youngest.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
forward
Fox
on
is.
that, but I think Fox is the youngest. He should be, yeah.
But yeah, I think he's the
21.
De'Aaron Fox 21.
yeah. See,
Russell
Russell's 23.
22,
Yeah,
24.
yeah.
Yeah, he's been there.
Too bad,
He's
yeah.
been 2 years in LA, right?
2 years in LA.
Yeah.
So what's his distance? What? 4
Third
years?
year. Third, fourth year.
Anyway, yeah, D'Angelo Russell.
So I go with D'Angelo Russell. I think he's the best player up there. I think his team is trending the best out of the three. Because I think Kawhi's leaving. That's why I say that.
Kawhi's gone.
So I think Kawhi's gone. So
Go ahead. We'll talk about that.
I think that
Go ahead.
I think that D'Angelo Russell will take that pretty easy.
Okay.
I agree with him.
Okay, I thought you were going to go somewhere. There's
Russell,
nowhere to go.
and I don't really think it'll be close.
Yeah.
When you think about it, well, for one, I'm sorry, the Kings just weren't that good.
The Kings
So it's kind of hard to watch
Yeah, they got first half
De'Aaron
of the
Fox's
season.
tape. They did have a decent
First half of the season.
Okay.
But then they fell apart. Like people were saying, they fell apart.
Yeah, NBA
So-
season is just such a
Now he
grind.
looks a lot better, and it's easy for him to look a lot better because he was terrible. He was overhyped.
It was over.
So it was a lot easier for him to get on this list because he amounted up to what he should have been.
Yeah, I agree.
So good for him. I think the Kings will appreciate that going forward.
Yeah.
Only one person out of these nominees was an all-star. D'Angelo Russell made himself an all-star. And he's going to be an all-star to come. Like, it wasn't a...
He's going to be a consistent
Like, yeah, he's like a consistent all-star.
Yeah.
He took the Brooklyn Nets and he put a light on Joe Harris, by the way. I'm a real big fan of Joe Harris. 3-point assassin, I think he's well over 45% from three. Average.
They won
On
the
the season.
two-point contest.
Beat out Steph, that's all D'Angelo Russell, honestly. I don't think Harris gets those looks. I don't think he gets... Granted, he's not a 3-and-D guy. He will go past it. He reminds me a little bit of a little small.
He was a Laker.
Who was Laker?
D'Angelo Russell.
He was Laker. But let's not bring that up. We're not trying to hurt our
Right,
Laker
dwelling
fans.
on the past.
Yeah,
Go
we're not
ahead.
trying to hurt. Look at this guy. He's just so happy. He's ready to hate. Let's get him out of that conversation. But yeah, I think D'Angelo Russell, hands down. It's not close.
Yeah, I agree. There's really no argument there.
Mhm.
Siakam is maybe.
I'm sorry, I didn't even mention Siakam.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who this dude was before the season, honestly.
I mean, Kawhi kind of put that light on him. Kawhi kind of brought.
I mean, Siakam's having a good season.
Which is good for him. Again, I had no idea who he was. I'm not going to lie about it.
But
I watch basketball all the time, and I had no idea who Siakam was.
Yeah, but D'Angelo Russell is just. All right, so we all agree D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
Six man, you have. I'll start with you, Tom. Six man, you have Lou Williams, Harold, and Sabonis. Yeah, two from the Clippers.
Unfortunately, yeah.
One from Sabonis.
I'm unfortunately going to give it to Lou Williams because of who he is. However,
Why unfortunately? You don't like Lou Williams?
I
You
am
have something
tired of
against
Lou Williams coming off the bench.
I mean, Adam.
Like, I'm tired of him playing against bench players. Your
Adam,
Clippers
I'm gonna
team...
Adam in this video.
Okay, that's fine. Your Clippers team was an 8 seed. I give them 6 seed at best if he starts. Like, I think at this point he's playing scared. Like, he's almost an all-star caliber player coming off the bench intentionally. Like, he's just purposely saying, nah, coach, I don't want to play the stars. Just let me play those guys.
So you're saying he's trying to win the six man every year?
Basically, like, he's not striving for greatness. He's striving to,
I'll make sure to at him in this video.
please. Like, Sabonis, I would love to give it to him, but it's going to go to Lou Williams.
I
Like,
hope he responds.
just realistically, it's going to go to Lou Williams. And Sabonis was on a Pacers team that still made the playoffs, still played very well
They play well
without their all-star. Well, how do you think that happened? Like, it wasn't magic. It wasn't a coach.
That's a
It
good
was-
point.
They had great surrounding players, and Sabonis was definitely one of them. He
And
might have
Tyreke
been
Evans was
even-
on crack.
His career is over. I said it once, I said it again. His career is over. There's no coming back for him unless he goes and plays in China. So
I will say that's a good point. And listening to you actually made me. I'm gonna agree with you
okay,
completely. But I will say this about Lou Williams. I don't think it was, just to be fair to him, I don't think it was him saying I'm scared or anything, because You look at it, Western Conference first round, he didn't look scared at all.
You look scared against
He
one
didn't
against
look-
Golden State?
He didn't look scared. He didn't look scared at any point. I think it's more of Doc Rivers. I think Doc Rivers knows he's comfortable in that role, and really, I think him starting would have made that team worse. Honestly,
Do you know who they're starting shooting guard?
I don't think it matters because I don't think.
I
don't know,
I
seriously.
literally, it's like, wait a minute, who is it? I know you got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and you have...
That's it. Because Pat Bev is the one.
Well, Shea, he played the third.
Shea,
So he's a 3.
Shea's a 1.
No,
Look it up.
No, Pat Beverly was the one.
Pat Beverly's definitely
It
one.
was
So it's Pat Beverly. So Beverly's 1. They had Shea at the 2.
Yeah, so he's a 2.
Landry
Ah,
was their starting.
He was good.
He was just out there.
He was good. He was good. He's second team all rookie.
I just think
They have a Lou Williams on their bench.
I'll be adding him as well. Go ahead.
I just think
He
Lou
might
Williams.
be fun.
No, we added him as well.
I think Lou Williams
Disrespect
starting
him. No problem.
makes that team's second unit almost like laughable.
Yeah.
If Lou Williams know where to start.
Yeah.
But I agree with you on
Landry was so good.
but still, it's not Lou Williams. You need Lou Williams in that role. I agree with you though on the principle of what you're saying. He should stop going for 6 men if that's what it is. But I think it's more Doc Rivers. I just blame it on Doc Rivers more so than him.
Like, if the Clippers just couldn't afford him anymore and he was like, I just want to stay in LA and came across the street, I'd stop him at the door and say, unless you're trying to start, can you come over here? And if he was trying to start,
Unless we have
I
Bradley
can't
Beal.
see. Bye.
What?
Unless we have who?
Bradley Beal.
Oh, well, yeah.
We getting somebody. I want you to know that. Like, we getting someone.
I hope so.
Go ahead.
We need to save Bradley. Like,
I hope so.
God, his career is
Over.
Memphis ticket. What?
So many
Oh my
careers.
God.
We put so many careers to bed.
God,
In
like,
3 episodes.
Washington is falling apart. Beal, get
John
out
Wall's
of
career
there.
may be over.
I forgot John Wall was a starting point.
He may be. His career may be over. Wait, tears Achilles? Huh?
I don't know. He's just torn his career. I don't know what he's doing anymore.
Sidebar: after the championship was won, I'll announce my team.
Oh, you have a new team?
I have a team.
Okay, you
I
have
have
a
a
team. Okay.
I have a team.
I wonder who it is. Are they in the playoffs right now?
No.
Ah.
Because I feel like that'd been the first thing that somebody said. Oh, you just picked a playoff team. So I made sure I picked it.
What made you pick this team? You just like the environment?
I don't want to hear it
When I
because
say
I'm going to win another team. So let's go to the next topic.
Is it the Grizzlies?
Yeah.
It's the Grizzlies. I'm sorry? I'm sorry?
I know.
What do you have? You know about the Grizzlies?
I love the Grizzlies.
I'll be at the Grizzlies as well. No problem. Moving on. Rookie of the year. You got Luka. You got Trey. And you got DeAndre. Ayton. Who you got?
I'm going with Luka.
All right.
I'm going with Luka. I know people gonna say, "Oh, look at Trae Young after the All-Star break." Well, look at Luka all year. Period. That's my rebuttal. You're looking at a half a year. I'm looking at a whole season. I win. He had better numbers.
I win.
I mean, period. He had better numbers than him
I
all
win.
year.
Okay.
He was the better player. He's who I would build around if I had choices of the two. Going with Luka.
Well, Luka Doncic. Very popular amongst the community.
I'm going Luka as well.
Okay.
Only because Trae Young had a phenomenal end to his season. He went off. He did what I expected him. I like players like Trae Young. From college, like obviously we're big Jimmer Fredette fans. That was Trae Young in college. Well, yeah, you just hate on
Somebody
him.
signed, like, get him. Like, this.
He's in the NBA. He got signed to a 2-year deal.
Play him. Like, this
I think the Suns.
league was built
Yeah,
for
the
him.
Suns picked him up. Yeah.
This league was built for him.
Yeah.
He was before his time.
Man was out in China dropping 7.
He was before his time. That's all he was.
All right, let me continue.
He was a
Looking at him
premature
dangerous.
Steph Curry. Go ahead.
I'm picking Luka. For one, he was close
He
to
was.
averaging a triple double. I mean, it was like 27 and 6.
Yep.
I mean, that's really good,
That's pretty
especially
good.
at his position.
Yep.
And then he's doing what Trae Young. They were tit for tat on
Yep.
3-point percentage. If I got to pick, Trae Young got to give me 40%. He's got to give me. You got to shoot 40% from behind.
So if you're starting a team today with one of those two, you're taking Luka over.
I always look. I said that in the previous segment of ours. I'm going to always build around a forward instead of a point guard.
But who's your rookie of the year?
Luka?
Okay,
Yeah.
so both Lukas.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going Trae Young. If I got to pick, Trae Young. I am.
Okay.
Trae Young. Now, the only reason why I'm picking Trae Young is because they have shafted my guy Jaren Jackson Jr. on that list. So otherwise, I'm gonna go with Jaren Jackson Jr.
Are we doing this?
Pull him up. The only reason he's not nominated is because he missed games.
Okay.
That's the only reason why. None of those players hit a game-winning shot.
LeBron James
over
wasn't nominated as a MVP this season because he missed games.
LeBron James is my MVP. He's the most valuable player on the team, isn't he?
Okay.
All right then.
Carry on.
Pull up LeBron James' numbers. He's averaged
I'm
27,
not
8,
going
and
to
8.
say he's
Like that's.
averaging triple double every season.
I mean, like
This was an off season.
he can be an MVP every single year.
Yeah,
This has been said over and over and over. Moving on.
We're both looking directly.
Yeah, because he can be an MVP candidate every single year. Only reason he's not this year is because the Lakers weren't good. They were 10th in the West. Blah blah blah. Moving on.
In the 17 games too. So like,
Yeah, that too. Trae Young. If I had to pick Trae Young, I like Luka. I think they're all gonna. Seriously, I think all of them gonna have a successful year. I think Luka's gonna have a successful career. Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton, I'm still iffy about just because he can't shoot.
I consider him an honorable mention on this list.
I feel like he's there because Jaren Jackson got.
I was gonna say I will agree with you on that. I do feel like not being biased at all, but I do feel like Jaren Jackson deserves a third spot.
I think so, and the only reason he didn't get it is because he hurt. He got hurt. He missed almost 20 games. So that's why I think DeAndre Ayton.
Also because Memphis just looked awful, and I mean they weren't even fun to watch. Like at least
they're not. I mean, that's all right.
for the ones who are upset about that statement, how many games did you go to? How many games did you watch? So Memphis looked bad. I mean, it was we literally watched it because of JJJ. Like that's it. So especially after Mark was traded, and I was just like, yeah, okay,
All right.
I'm done with this.
Moving on, defensive player of the year, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Rudy Gobert, or Paul George. Something.
I'm very biased. I don't like Paul George.
I also like Paul George.
All right, well.
I hate Paul George. Hey, I'm glad we see eye to eye on that.
Just don't like him.
I just don't like him.
Hey, Russ, you ruined him for me.
Russ ruined him. Like I don't like his post game antics. I just don't like him. Go ahead.
All right, well, I'm gonna go with Rudy. I'm going with Rudy.
Defensive player of the year, Rudy
Defensive player
Gobert.
of the year. You heard it here first, and if he gets it, you heard it here first. Rudy is an absolute ball in the paint. Like you have to watch the games to see what I'm talking about. He may not. I mean, he's going to average 2 blocks. I don't know how many blocks he averages, but I'm pretty sure it's close to 2.
Yeah, I got have 2 blocks.
But it's not even just that.
I mean, swats.
He forces guards and forwards to shoot. When they see Rudy in there, nobody drives. When Rudy's on the bench, everybody drives.
I don't feel
That's just how it works.
at all.
You go driving.
I'll drive on Rudy Gobert. Like I just don't fear it. I just don't fear Rudy. Go
He
ahead.
might block you
He might die. Like
and take the ball out your hand in there. Like, no, I just
don't. Like Rudy Gobert.
I'm giving it
is-
to Rudy. I mean, Giannis had a great.
I just don't like. I don't.
But
Oh my
in,
God, Rudy
in
Gobert.
Giannis's
I'm
case,
not game planning for him.
and the only reason I say that is because Rudy is in a position to where he doesn't have to be an on-ball defender. Giannis is typically an on-ball defender. I'm not just going to say he's just this locked down on-ball defensive player. He's one of those. He's going to get the blocks too. He's going to keep you out of the paint, but that's because his team helps funnel that to him. And at which point then he's just doing his job.
All right.
So I mean he did a great job, but I'm not going to give it to him over Rudy.
All right.
I'm going Giannis.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I'm going Giannis.
Because you don't like Paul George either.
I don't like Paul George. I'm going Giannis because I feel like Bleak kind of highlighted this. I feel like Rudy Gobert, his defensive job isn't really that hard.
It's not that hard. Just
Like,
stand there.
if you think about it, how many dominant centers is he even really facing? To where he has to worry about, I need to really worry about guarding my man tonight. not many. Anthony Davis really didn't play a lot of minutes, so not him. You could say Embiid maybe sometimes, but past that, like, whereas opposed to Giannis, it's pretty much guarding Durant, LeBron, Kawhi. Like, he's guarding people who are, I got to beat my man, or I got to worry about my man dropping 30 or 40 tonight.
And I got to drop 30.
Right. And whereas opposed to Rudy Gobert is like, okay, I'm the greatest help defender ever in the history of the NBA. Because
You really want to consider him a help?
I mean, that's, you even brought up his blocks as
2.5 a game.
I understand that, but look at the advanced metrics and see how many of those blocks were actually against centers and forwards that he was guarding on ball. Probably not many. A lot of those were guards that think they can float it over him and didn't. Layups at the rim where he was behind them and they didn't even see him.
That's what Giannis was.
I mean, a lot of Giannis's blocks and stuff were on small forwards, some of the best in the game too.
Those same small forwards won't drive you to Rudy's paint. That's a defensive player of the year. When he changes your game, yeah, he's not going to get those stats because they're not going to try.
He wasn't even an all-star.
So, does a defensive player of the year have to be an all-star?
Usually they are.
They should coexist, but he has no offensive game to speak of. So
That's why he's not the offensive
he's
player.
a lob catcher.
I mean, pull the
I'm
defensive
not-
player of the year
I'm
list
not.
and find me one that wasn't an all-star recently.
Let's continue before I do it.
I agree with you. Giannis Antetokounmpo is defensive player of the year. It's not even close.
It's not close.
No, it's not close.
2.5 blocks a game isn't close.
It's not
It's
close.
not close.
No, I'm not impressed with 2.5 blocks. That doesn't.
You can go ahead and get out of here.
I mean, I'm not leaving, first of all. And second of all, that doesn't make me change my game plan. Like, I'm not game planning.
By the way, who was last year's defensive player of the year?
I don't know.
It was Rudy.
Rudy Gobert.
Was it really? See, that's how
He's just averaging 2.5 blocks a game. That's easy to do.
That's how insignificant like he is. Like I didn't even know he was defensive
Anthony
player.
Davis was-
I thought it was Draymond Green.
He was
So,
the year before that.
He was here before that.
okay, so it was Rudy Gobert.
Last year.
I don't even.
And then Kawhi got it 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it's not. He's not defensive player of the year. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. He is if it's not Kawhi, he is the most well-rounded player behind Kawhi Leonard. He needs to work on obviously his shooting.
So
It's
you
the
say
only-
Melo?
Oh, what? I'm not about to say LeBron either. If you were wondering.
Oh, I'm fully aware you're not going to
Say
get
Melo.
any positive way.
I think when it comes to that, he's in second because his shooting. I get
I
it.
don't think he's the second best, bro. Most
Well-rounded.
well-rounded.
Who else?
I think it's Kevin Durant.
That was at second.
Well,
Durant's
I think
Stick to the
Kawhi's
topics.
one.
You think Durant is over?
I think
I'm not having a discussion.
Yeah, I'm going to say
I'm not having a
that.
discussion.
I'm not saying better than. I'm saying you said well-rounded.
Yeah.
I think Kawhi is the most well-rounded in the NBA. He's one.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Durant is two. I think Giannis is three.
I think you can switch those around and you're good. 1, 2, 3.
It's a bit debate for another day.
Moving on. So we have our defensive player of the year, coach of the year. Mike Budenholzer, Mike Malone, or Doc Rivers.
Okay, so let me start off by saying I love Doc Rivers,
I know.
but in this
He's your
in this
Rodgers
group,
coach, by the way.
He's all around.
thank you for the
Celtics.
reminder.
Oh yeah, he was a guy.
Yeah, I always say thank you for the reminder. Huh?
He's a
And
torment.
I still, yeah.
Hey, you too. Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. Love you.
I mean, he beat you, didn't he?
I've never liked any of LeBron's coaches. So let's
I'm
get
glad you
that.
pointed out that Melo's never been a serious ring
Can we
contender.
just stop talking about Melo?
He brought him up. He
I don't want Melo in this
brought him up.
conversation.
He brought him
I
up.
don't want Melo in this conversation.
He was talking about that.
Call him up and tell him to retire. That's what we do. All right, so I would say let's give it to. I'm giving it to Mike Malone.
Okay.
And I do that because what Denver was last season compared to what they turned into this season. That was a big turnaround. I don't know what happened. I had to look. Denver was a 9th seed last season. They were scratching at the AC. I remember that. They ended 46-36, which is crazy because they were scratching at AC with 46 wins. This season was a lot worse for 8th and 9th seed. But they were a 9th seed with 46 wins. And they turned around and became a 1st seed for like the longest in the Western Conference. That's hard to do considering there's a whole Golden State and Houston Rockets. I I didn't realize Mike Malone was coaching them last season. I had no idea. No clue. And again, that's because I don't watch Denver Nuggets basketball, but I mean, they do have a top 3 center in the league, so I got to give him that. But he clearly turned, because they have players that, like, aren't really stars.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to say all stars. They're not really stars. They just have a bunch of role players starting. Mm-hmm. Granted, they have turned.
Outside of Jokic.
I would say, yeah, Jokic, and they turned Murray into a top 10 guard. So, other than that, they just. Will Barton, you got Craig, Terrence Craig, I don't know his name. Like, these are just players that kind of came out of nowhere. I really wish they had the Manimal still. Freed. I think they would have been even better with him because Houston has him, right? Mm-hmm. Just didn't use him. Didn't use him right. Just wasted him on the bench. So I gotta give it to he turned that organization around. Completely different organization now. So hopefully they can keep that momentum because we can't have Portland in the conference finals anymore, man. Like, God, Denver.
That was so boring.
No, it was boring. That was hard to watch.
Oh, it was hard to watch.
So they I hope they can bounce back. They just
I'm agreeing with him. I'm giving it to Mike Malone.
Mike Malone?
And it's Mike Malone 1, Budenholzer a close second. The only reason I don't give it to Budenholzer over Mike Malone is because I looked at their both coaches' best player, and I feel like Giannis is light years ahead of Jokic. So you got that good of a player.
Yeah.
I give it to the other coach because I feel like he's doing more coaching.
Which is why Steve Kerr isn't even nominated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's just why. It's like when you have that good of a player, your coach doesn't show up until deep in the playoffs.
Exactly.
At that point, it's already been decided.
I was just me to Doc Rivers, obviously. Mike Budenholzer's my guy. Only because Jason Kidd basically had this same exact team. Mm-hmm. And he's no Brook Lopez, which is the big plus for them. But he completely, Kid did nothing for that team. Nothing. And they had basically the same team. Mike Budenholzer comes in. Yeah, they add Lopez, but with his coaching and with his experience that he brought, and them basically being the number 1 overall seed, like I said, not just in the East, but overall. Like if Golden State, they're in the finals already. If they, if the Bucks get to the finals, game 1's in Milwaukee. Like Golden State, they've been in that situation. Yeah. So I think for him to do that, that's why I'm going with Budenholzer. But I can understand why Mike Malone would probably win it, just because of the massive turnaround that Denver went through.
And with just a bunch of
Milwaukee had a little bit of turnaround too.
Just a bunch of role players. I think it literally turned into role players starting. Like your Gary Harris
Gary Harris is good, but I'm starring.
A lot of this coaching, and a lot of it is their altitude too. Don't sleep on that. That's probably the biggest home court advantage in basketball.
So, last one. The MVP. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo, James Harden, whom we haven't mentioned.
Honorable mention.
And Paul George.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention?
Yeah.
For who? James Harden?
Paul George.
Oh, I don't know about Paul. I understand Paul George had a good year, but I'm done with it. Like I'm done with Paul George.
Okay, so before we get into the actual MVP conversation, who will be your third?
My third, candidate for MVP, LeBron James. Absolutely.
Man.
Even when he missed time?
Even this time, because that proved how valuable he was. Like when he was playing as well as he was, the Lakers were 1 game out of the top seed in the West. He goes down.
Yep.
That proves that to me,
he still is the team.
He's the most valuable player. Because when we had him, we were 1 game out of the. That was Christmas Day. That was more than halfway through the season. Okay. So, not more than halfway, but coming on halfway through the season. That's why LeBron James will be my third. That's just me, though. But I can understand having Paul George.
All right.
He had a great year. Of course you do.
But wait till you hear who my third would be.
Who's your third?
I'm going Damian Lillard. I would put him in my third. He got Portland all the way to a 3 seed. He has no other major player besides C.J. McCollum. Look at his numbers.
You better be respectful of C.J. McCollum.
I mean,
he's the top 3 shooting guard in the league.
He is.
All right.
But again, look at Dame's numbers.
Okay.
They might shock you how good they actually were this year.
They were good.
Even compared to his last year and even the year before that, like dude is getting better like every year. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's kind of
Kind
scary.
of scary. But that would just be my honorable mention.
Then I gotta go. Go ahead.
I just wouldn't give it to anybody. It's not even handling LeBron. If LeBron played the full season, he'd beat LeBron easy. He'd probably be MVP, honestly, if he played the full season.
I was going to say, to that point, I do want to make mention that I don't think Portland would have been swept if they had their center. Their starting
Yeah.
center.
Yeah.
Yusuf Nurkic is probably
Nurkic's
worth
pretty good.
a top 5 center now. A top 10 easily, but top 5 maybe, possibly. He was averaging like 15 or 16, 10.
Here's a
16,
big
like,
help for them.
Yeah,
That was a
7
big
feet.
loss.
He's
Losing
young.
him was huge.
Yeah,
that probably cost him. Like,
that hurt.
top.
Yeah. I mean, granted, Myers Leonard showed up a little bit, but Yusuf doesn't. He's not playing out there at that 3-point line.
Yeah.
Yusuf is in the paint, changing the game.
Change the game. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would just be my honorable mention. I'm sure he would go with LeBron too. Right, LeBron.
Actually, I was just gonna say, just based on the way the league is built, it would probably be Russ as a third choice over Paul George. That's very frustrating that it was.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Might entertain like Steph Curry.
I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to pick anybody from that team.
I don't think
It's really hard. Like, who's really making them win? Like,
That's
all of them.
exactly. You can't really make any of them the case.
But all right, so who's your pick? We can't.
Actual MVP?
Yeah, who's your
I'm
actual
going
pick?
Giannis. Like I just said with the coach of the year, it's the reason why I'm not giving Budenholzer. I don't think you can give Budenholzer coach of the year and give Giannis the MVP. Like it doesn't work both ways. You got to identify one of them as the source, and I think Giannis turned his game up another notch as opposed to Budenholzer coming in there and really just put. I mean, granted he helped, but I think Giannis was ready to take that next step anyway. I just feel like he's hungry.
All right.
So I give Giannis the MVP, and that's why I don't give Budenholzer coach of the year.
Okay. So you're not giving Budenholzer any credit for?
No, I'm giving him credit, but if I can't give Budenholzer coach of the year and give Giannis the MVP.
Why not?
Because if you give Budenholzer coach of the year, you're saying his coaching, he was the best coach in basketball that year.
He coached up.
So then how are you then turn around and giving also that credit to Giannis and saying that you were the most valuable player?
Because he coached him up to that level.
And I think Giannis would have made that jump no matter who was the coach.
All right.
I'm giving it to Giannis. A little bit of a different reason though. James Harden averaged 35, 6, and 6 this season. Absolutely amazing.
I don't care.
Those are astronomical numbers. So he clearly didn't pick Harden.
Do y'all think the playoffs? Seriously, do y'all think the playoffs actually hurt him MVP wise though?
No.
Y'all don't think it did?
No.
I think it did. I'm sorry. I think like the voters won't say it, but I honestly think like they're like, no, we're not giving it to him. Like I am serious, and I hate that for him.
But
I mean,
they were
whether
the
it did or
fourth
not,
seed, right?
Giannis is one of those players. First of all, he's averaging 27 and 13 in like 5 or 6, like, which is absolutely ridiculous on his own. Like to average more than 10 rebounds, it's hard to do if you're not a center.
Yeah.
So 27 and 13, and you're not a center, like you're in that paint.
He's averaging,
owning that
I think,
paint.
almost 2 blocks and almost a steal and a half.
Exactly.
A game, like,
And that's where I was
two
going with
stat
it.
lines are ridiculous.
First of all, his offensive numbers are incredible. You can't stop him on offense unless you can't really force him into a shot. He's not one. He's going to do what he wants.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the other end of the ball too. As a LeBron fan, obviously I have to. That's when LeBron won his MVP, when he was patenting the chase down block. Giannis changes your game. He's one of those players who's going to change your game.
Yeah.
Just like I said with Rudy earlier, Giannis is going to make it really hard for you. I'm not going to say he's this Klay Thompson lockdown on ball defender, but if you're not coming correct, you're not getting by. If you come in that paint the wrong way, off the wrong side, you're not looking over your shoulder, you get blocked, you get pinned. So, I mean, he's a big dude. You will get pinned. I just think with him doing it on both ends of the ball, that gives him that much of an edge. And I mean, it's a big edge, actually. James Harden, again, 35, 6, and 6. Obviously, there's no question he's the best offensive player in the league. But is he really changing the game on the other end? Is he playing those passing lanes? Is he averaging 2 steals a game? I feel like if you're going to be an MVP, excuse me, if you're going to be an MVP in a guard, at the very least, you need to be averaging a steal and a half, 2 steals a game. You have to be a lockdown on-ball defender on that other end of the court. You have to do something on that other end that stands out. That's like when Steph was unanimous, which I didn't agree with that season. But, well, I'm not going to say I disagree with him being an MVP.
I got a funny story about the unanimous MVP.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing that he should have been shouldn't have been MVP, just the unanimous part of it.
Hey.
But to that extent, he was doing it on the other end of the floor. It's
He's
easy for a
averaging
player.
2
Yeah,
steals a game.
exactly. It's easy for Steph to beat 3 and D because his 3 comes off so quick and he makes it. So he's getting down there on the other end. He could be very lazy if he wanted to, but he's not. He was absolutely harassing other guards, and if he can't guard you straight
He
up,
played great defense this series against CJ.
he did. I will agree that CJ kind of fell off. And it's a little sad to watch. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna knock CJ. Hopefully he bounces back. He's still putting in my top 5 shooting guards, top 3.
He's still his top 3.
So, just as a sidebar for you, unanimous MVP conversation.
Mhm.
So, do you know somebody almost did that before Steph? Unanimous MVP.
Who, Kobe?
No, LeBron.
Yeah, of course he was.
This is last year. The last MVP he got. You remember how many votes he got? He got all except 1. Do y'all remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm going
Yeah.
with, right?
Who do you vote for?
You know who got the 1 vote?
Who?
Melo.
We've had this conversation before. He's just so happy about that.
You're welcome. Put that up there. Put that up there.
Whoever put
That
that
was the
vote
year
in is
that
no longer on
Melo
the
led
staff,
New York
so.
to the 2 seed. You remember that was one.
I'm so sorry.
Mario got hurt. You know the high story. This year Steve Novak was going off. You remember this?
And Landry. Like the dude from I don't know his name. I don't know what his Landry. That's all I know.
Yeah, that was just a side note. Just want to put
All right, well, thanks for that side note. My MVP is obviously Giannis Antetokounmpo. I agree with you. Both sides of the ball. I think Giannis plays both sides of the ball very well. He has things to work on, yes. But I think, like
Does he
you said,
really?
his shooting.
Okay, well, yeah.
That's the one thing that he has to work on. I think his shooting.
That's about it.
I mean, he can
That's
touch it up, but he doesn't have to become this assassin.
No, he doesn't have to become an assassin. No. He just needs to improve his
These guys will make it when they sag off him.
Yeah, like he needs to make it respectable.
Maybe that 17-footer. I agree with that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be a 3-point shooter at all.
He doesn't have to. I mean, but he can add it. You know, that's when you can add
You
it.
had a step in jumper.
Yeah.
You just step into.
I think, but yeah, I think he is the MVP. Like I said, he plays on both sides of the ball. James Harden does not do that. That's why I didn't agree with him last year. He doesn't play on both sides of the ball. I understand he's this offensive juggernaut and he does all this stuff offensively. He's unstoppable, blah, 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 whatever. But he doesn't play defense, and that's what kills me. Like if you don't play defense, I'm not giving you MVP. You know, and you purposely don't play defense because you go off on the offensive, which gives you more energy, right? But okay, like you're averaging 40, but you're giving up 35, 40. So you're almost taking away your points, in my opinion. You know, so I'm just like, yeah, you're good, but you're not a well-rounded player. Like you have you're just an offensive superstar. You know, like a 2K, like offensive superstar. That's what he is. He's an offensive superstar. That's what he is. So in my opinion, Giannis, Paul George shouldn't even be on the list. And I regret nothing about
We're
you saying.
we're all in agreement on that. I wouldn't put.
He has great numbers now, but me personally, I don't want him on the list.
I feel like Damian Lillard should have got a little bit more shine.
I agree.
I don't understand how Paul George was the 3rd leading MVP candidate and his team was the 7th seed.
That didn't make any sense. Like he
Well,
was
the 6th seed, excuse me.
He really just had a great closing.
Yeah.
A great opening and a great closing. The middle, he was just kind of
yeah.
nah.
Yeah.
But you know,
All right. Anything else you guys want to add? We get on up out here.
No, I think that's it.
appreciate everybody. I want to say thank you.
So one of those another topic for another day.
That's fine. Look, write it down. We can remember. We got plenty of topics coming up. Like football is right around the corner.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so hot in here for football season.
Boy.
I'm coming for his throat. That guy.
Boy, it's gonna be hot.
Oh, it's that
I got nothing to lose. I might win in 3 games. I got nothing to lose. Okay, I'm gonna be throwing out everything. Yeah, look. But yeah, thank you guys again. Like he said, if you guys don't follow us yet, follow us on Twitter.
No G.
No G.
No G.
Don't put the G in there because it's not there.
Comin. No G.
If you put the G, then I can find you. So put the G there. Coming in hot, capital MEM, because we're in Memphis. Capital MEM at Coming in Hot, capital MEM. On Facebook, Coming in Hot. That is it. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the support. Thank you. And we are done. We're out of here.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Coming in